Welcome back to the AR Files presented by 9-Hole Reviews and brought to you by Slate Black Industries. Be sure to check out slateBlackIndustries.com. In this episode, we're going to be focusing on the AR-15 charging handle. Admittedly, the charging handle isn't one of the sexier parts of the rifle, but it's used each and every time you check the weapon's condition, load and unload the weapon, and perform remedial actions. That's tactical speak for clear malfunctions. So it actually makes a good deal of sense to focus on this part and ensure you select the best option based on how you run your setup. Now, the AR-15 operates off of a non-reciprocating charging handle located at the very rear of the upper receiver, which then extends out over the receiver extension or buffer tube when cycled. A small latch located on the left side of the charging handle in the standard design is depressed, allowing the handle to be unhooked from where it normally is seated in the upper receiver, and then pull back to the rear, bringing the bolt carrier with it. The term non-reciprocating means that during the actual firing of the rifle, the bolt carrier cycles without the handle moving. This is as compared to the charging handles on, for example, the Kalashnikov or the original Scars, which move with the carrier during discharge. In terms of the AR, this means that while you don't have to worry about the handle moving or being impeded during the firing sequence, you also cannot use the handle to drive the carrier forward, which is why the forward assist exists. But let's not open a debate on the forward assist in this video. For years, the AR Manual of Arms has taught us to reach over the handle and grasp the T shape between the index and middle fingers, and then pull the entire device straight to the rear. But as weapon manipulation has evolved, the technique to run the charging handle has changed as well. Most New Age techniques teach right-handed shooters to take their left hand and pinch the left side of the charging handle between their thumb and index finger, opening the latch, and then pull rearward. This allows the user to be a bit more efficient with motion when performing this action. For lefties, the same technique can be done with the left hand, but requires breaking of the firing grip, considered a faux pas in some schools of thought, which instead teach rolling the gun inboard to allow left-handed shooters to access the charging handle with their right hand over the top of the gun. There are certainly other techniques out there as well. This isn't meant to be a complete commentary. The dogma and debate on which weapons manipulation technique you choose to use isn't really the focal point of this conversation, but the technique you do use is likely to impact your decision on which charging handle is right for you. You see, the stock charging handle, in our opinion, isn't meant to be torqued repeatedly by pulling rearward with only one hand, as we previously mentioned. Over the years, we've damaged the latch pins and even bent the bodies of stock handles by pulling them rearward using just one side. You can see here how the handle is coming off-center due to this pressure. This is a major change that most aftermarket handles attempt to implement, increasing the strength of the latch area, as well as ensuring the handle is made of aluminum of the appropriate quality. In addition, things like the size of the latch, making it bigger and easier to grab, making the latch ambidextrous to open by pinching either side, and adding vents or building a dam to attempt to prevent excess gas from escaping into the shooter's face are all attributes which can be found in specific upgraded charging handle models. So let's look at some of these popular upgrades and see some of the pros and cons, then look at some of the popular products available today. Stronger, more robust construction. This is fairly straightforward. More robust and sturdy construction of the latch and interface are only a good thing. And ensuring that the grade of aluminum is strong and solid to ensure no premature bending or damage is excellent. Except, of course, for the price tag. Most of these enhanced handles are, at minimum, double if not triple the cost of a stock handle. The larger latch. Larger latches can make grabbing or pinching the charging handle much easier. Some of the latches actually hook forward, making it extremely easy to grab and rip to the rear without slipping. Some latches also add texture. Some larger latches are great for ensuring the user's hand can still access the handle in their desired manipulation method, even if there is another device, such as an optic, or something like the law folder device, which otherwise cramps up the space around the charging handle. The obvious con here is the snag point that larger latches create. The bigger the latch, and the further it sticks out, the worse the snag point. Not only can it hang up on clothing, in a sling, on kit, etc., but in doing so, it can also pull the rifle out of battery. Beyond this, the larger the latch, the more uncomfortable the rifle can be to sling in certain conditions, since the latch will be a single point poking into the user. The Ambi Upgrade. The Ambi Upgrade adds a second latch to the right side of the handle, allowing users to mirror the support hand-only style manipulation used when firing with the right hand. This is a great advantage for left-handed shooters, since they can now manipulate the handle while maintaining a firing grip. Cost is an immediate downside, as most Ambi handles tend to be at least an additional 20 to 30% more expensive than the already more expensive standard enhanced handles. Almost all Ambi handles also come with enhanced size latches, so all of the pros and cons previously noted on the enhanced latch sizes are present here. The Gas Buster feature. So, a quick bit of background on this. When running a suppressor, increased pressure usually forces additional gas into the bolt carrier and receiver. Sometimes this gas escapes back into the shooter's face through the cutout at the rear of the receiver where the charging handle sits. As a means to combat this, some charging handles have vents internally to try and break up the flow of that gas down the handle. Others have what we'll call a dam-like feature or built-up ridge where the receiver is contacted. The idea being, this area stops or redirects some of the extra gas. While these features do indeed work, in our experience, they're not earth-shattering. You're still going to enjoy some gas coming back into your face, all things being the same. So let's talk about some current options. Replacing the stock latch on a stock handle is probably the most economic option available. Badger Ordnance makes a latch that was all the rage back in the early 2000s that did just this. But in spite of being cheaper, these options put an inordinate amount of stress and torque on the roll pin. Honestly, it isn't 2008 anymore. With the sheer growth of the market and development of extremely effective full upgrade options, for what the latch replacement alone gives you, or rather doesn't give you, we strongly recommend skipping this option and going straight to a fully enhanced version. Within these fully enhanced options, there are literally countless variants. We'll note a few of the big names and pioneers here. The BCM Gunfighter, with its various latch sizes, was one of the original enhanced charging handles from the mid-2000s. It's still a go-to option for many users out there, us included. In fact, we've just swapped to some of their lower profile versions to decrease the snag point for rifles we're spending a lot of time slung up with. These also have a pretty decent dam for excess gas mitigation. The Radian Raptor, arguably the most prolific enhanced Ambi option on the market today. It's another absolute go-to. We've used these extensively on numerous rifles. Radian offers a handle with enhanced internal vents if you're looking for gas busting capability. The PRI Gas Buster, another OG in this space. This is a newer production model that sports a beefy handle, slightly larger latch, and large gas busting dam at the rear. Of the current offerings, this one might not be at the top of our list simply because the latch is a bit smooth and doesn't have much texture. This is just a preference thing though. Then we have the Geisley. This one is the Airborne, which sports a slightly lower profile latch for less snag points. Geisley also has a larger version. This one is Ambi and has the gas busting dam as well. The Airborne feels particularly solid to us. We're a big fan of this unit. Here is the Daniel Defense Ambi handle. Not our favorite aesthetically, but again, another perfectly suitable contender. So, how impactful is an upgrade to the charging handle? Well, we'd actually say it's meaningful. If you're training and practicing with your rifle, you will notice during your manipulations the improvements to gripping and ripping on the handle. But this certainly isn't an upgrade that can replace training. Just having this tool won't make you a better shooter. You need to be practicing. And remember, this session was just a quick scratch of the surface of the number of brands out there. Don't see your preferred option? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're like Henry, and you'll have never even thought of swapping out or buying anything other than the old faithful mil-spec charging handle, we'd be happy to hear that rationale as well. And until next time, we'll see you on the range.
716, this is Steel 96, 4 Vic, 8 packs, Redcon 1, green to green. How copy, over?
Steel 96, this is 716, roger, over. 16, Steel 91, 1 pack, green, green, over. This is 716, roger, over. I think.
2, 1 Victor, 2 packs, Recon 1, over.